Stotts in studio, Advanced Wiring Solutions. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good.
So, a couple of days ago, right whenever we were in the midst of an election, someone acted like a buffoon and really just created a lot of harm. I mean, really stole things. Were in the Boys and Girls Club for, man, it seemed like a couple of hours, wasn't it?
He was in there roughly about an hour, walking around, trying to get in the doors. Fortunately, Al does a great job trying to secure the place. Just really pointless how it happened. I mean, the guy busted a window. It's going to cost thousands of dollars to fix that. Stolen Xbox. Luckily, while I was there helping the police get the footage off the camera system, a local business guy was already replacing the Xbox.
Wow.
Other than that, the guy smashed a couple TVs because it showed the cameras on those TVs. So he really tried damaging the camera system. Fortunately, it's not where you would think the camera system is. But that night I kind of reached out to a few friends on Facebook, made a post because I was pretty upset about it. Back in 2019, Dwight Fowler and Teresa Fowler from Hit and Run actually donated that camera system. I donated my labor and time to install it, helping, since they took that building over from the Alton School District.
Right.
Half the cameras that are still on that building are older than the Boys and Girls Club being there. So I went through the camera system, kind of, did some updates to it, looked at it, and I'm like, let's replace the 14 cameras that are outside. They were existing from when the Alton School District had it. You could hardly see anything. So I came up with about 20 cameras, and volunteered to donate my time. So Scott Yarbrough up at Sammy Sandwiches, he kind of asked what I thought it was going to cost. I was like, I think, roughly around $3,000. Mm-hmm. So he challenged a lot of his friends on Facebook, and within 8 hours on Friday, they raised $3,000.
That's incredible, man. And he does a lot of good stuff for the community, too. Really does. And it's cool to see like this, though, because the Boys and Girls Club, what Al's done over there and what that whole group's done is just incredible. And what they provide for the kids and the community, and to see that, it pisses you off.
Yeah. If you've never walked in there and seen how they interact with these kids, right. Some of these kids are rambunctious, but they sit them down, they talk to them, they really mentor these kids to, do good things, to play good, to talk good, to respect, I could spend, all day in there just watching how they help these kids and, for Al to reach out to me and say, hey, this happened, I was pretty pissed off about it.
Yeah, and but I think it also just shows you how important, folks do hold the Boys and Girls Club, because, man, within a couple of days, that was pretty much all but taken care of, and then on top of, I don't know what happened at Cat Daddy's for, how well that turned out for their fundraiser, but there's a lot of good that came out of a jerk, just a jerk being a jerk. I mean, because you're not a good criminal if you're going into the Boys and Girls Club for a TV. I'm sorry.
No.
Go to a Walmart. I'm not trying to make fun of it, but it's like, what do you do?
There's bigger corporations. Just the ramifications. Even if you go to Walmart and steal,
right.
What's that do? That raises the prices of the consumer. Because now Walmart, doesn't want to call their insurance company over a couple $100. Same thing with Home Depots and Lowe's and all these tools that get stolen constantly.
So what do you have? Now as everything's going, what are we going to have to do inside the Boys and Girls Club? Do you think, to get everything back to?
So after being here today, I'm going over to my distributor to actually buy the cameras. I've ordered the hard drives to expand the storage on the system. My goal is, in the next couple of weeks, replace the 14 outdoor cameras and 6 indoor cameras.
No kidding.
Scheduling is going to be important. Obviously, I've reached out to Al a few times. He's great with it. He loves it. I just want to throw out, Randy Scholler at Fast Eddie's Chicken, she donated. The St. Peter's family, they donated. Mike Weller at AP Cigar. John Lindsay, Podiatry First. Ed Yarbrough, a retired Air Force veteran, donated $500. And then Walmart and Godfrey, Courtney Howe, They donated some.
Don't steal from Walmart,
well.
But before you go further, that's just what's unique to me, though, is it's just the run of the mill of people. I'm going, yep, that makes sense. Yep, that makes sense, and they're there, and that's cool as hell.
We have a great small business community, and we care about our community.
Yeah,
and that's a huge thing. People think you run a small business and you're loaded, and you can do whatever you want. You have free time, and no, we work hard, but we also do things behind the doors. I mean, I couldn't tell you, the baseball teams that I donate $100 here to, or, golfing events for fire departments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to help the community, I mean, we want to give back, but it's hard sometimes.
Well, it is, and especially when you see things like this, because I'm sure, especially if you're, and not saying specifically to you, but for anybody that's involved in this process and donating time and hours and money, it's, why are we even doing this? I mean, that's got to be the aggravating factor for me, where I'm like, come on, guys, we're doing all this for you, and then it keeps, we have these issues come up,
Right.
And so I don't know what the solution is to that, but I think it's great for folks to know, for potential bad actors in the future, to go, hey, this isn't the place you come and mess with. I mean, you just don't come here.
Right. I mean, security cameras are a great deterrent. I mean, I look around daily. I mean, I noticed a new camera in Edwardsville. Or, I noticed a new camera in Woodward last week. I'm like, when they put that camera there?
You know what's funny, though? I always look suspicious. Even though I have nothing to, be suspicious about, I'm like, oh, there's a camera. I always walk away like Gotti,
Right. I mean, you see cameras everywhere, and honestly, it's a great deterrent. It's just, in my opinion, not only from a business aspect, I look at some of the bigger bars in the area that I've done work for.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, recently Fast Eddie's did a huge camera upgrade. Mm-hmm. I've done Bluff City. I mean, some of these local businesses, I mean, they have to spend quite a bit of money, but it's not only to stop theft. It's also to protect their employees.
You're 100% right.
I've had a customer in Bethalto, somebody slipped and fell on his patio. He called me. He's like, hey, I need this footage for my insurance company. That way they could see actually what happened. And fortunately, we designed that system to have enough storage that he still had that footage, even though it was 30 days after it happened.
See, now that's even better, though, for folks to know, too, because, it seemed like for a while it was like you only had a certain amount of days because of the storage, situation 10 or 20 years ago. But now, I mean, especially if you're at a bar and you have all these things going on, and God knows what could happen on a bar night, you have to have all the eyes in the skies you can to keep everyone protected in case you got to talk to the law or you got to do something.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's a huge thing for the insurance companies. I mean, I'll use Stock Auto Body. When Kent Eberhardt was still alive, he reached out to me when I was first starting my company, and he's like, Chris, I need cameras. He's like, or my work comp's going to triple.
Yeah.
So it was cheaper for him to buy a camera system than to pay the work comp insurance, because now if an employee falls, he could dispute that or at least have evidence of what actually happened.
Well, and you're a good community partner, too, if you have some exterior camera systems, too, because if there's a situation that happens across the road, that the police are going to need to look at something just to see if they can catch a little bit of the story there, and that's being a good community partner.
Oh, absolutely. I've worked with, the Alton Police Department quite a bit. I mean, I've got cameras at Bluff City Tackle. There was a horrible car wreck last year where I believe somebody died. And fortunately, it was caught on the camera. So the person who left the scene of the accident was actually caught, within a day.
Well, and see, that's why I think this is so much more important than a security system, and it's because it's this. It's a matter of fact thing. With security systems, there's timing and how much. When's that alarm actually going to go off? And if they're studying your house or knowing your property or know who you are, they're in and out. If they know what they're doing. But with this, to have that evidence, to be able to say, hey, I saw this in my neighbor's backyard last night while this guy was peeking through his window, or or you name it. But now to be able to say, hey, I can see this in real time. This individual's trying to break into my home. You aren't waiting for the 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes for the response time of your alarm company. You're calling yourself and going, hey, I have literally someone breaking into my house right now.
Which actually speeds up the response. Because you could verify, hey, he is in my house. If your burglar alarm goes off that you're paying $60 a month for, first off, the alarm monitoring company is going to get the call.
Right.
Then they have to go down their phone tree to see if it's a false alarm or what. And then at that point, after maybe 2 minutes, then they call the police department. The police department, if they're busy, it's 10 to 15 minutes. Sorry. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've called just seeing people go into an abandoned house, and the cop shows up an hour and a half, 2 hours later, because they've been busy throughout the night for higher priority calls.
That's what it is. It's just a matter of priority. And it's like, when you see that, it's not, the thought of, okay, a burglar alarm went off, we'll get there and check it out. It's we have an active situation in progress, and that becomes a lot different when it comes to that response time, because they know that intruder or that suspect's still there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and most security companies nowadays, like ADT, these higher up companies, they'll charge you extra to have real-time monitoring. That way, if your alarm goes off, they could pull up your house cameras and see what's going on.
There you go. Well, and see, that's interesting too. But you know, it goes back to that, man, where I'm starting to think more and more along the lines of, if I have the camera system, I really don't need the alarm system, because it's just going to make me aggravated when I stumble in at 2 a.m. and I get a call from this company. You know what I'm saying? I hate to be funny about it, but I would just rather have the camera than just the dinging.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the systems that I sell come with a great 4-year warranty. You monitor them yourself. So you basically buy the system through me. I install it. You pay the labor of the installation. There's no fees after that.
No kidding.
You know, you could actually set...
Wait, so it's done? Like, there's no monthly fee?
No monthly fees. I started my company, I want to say 2016, 2017, and the goal was to help residential and small business customers. I feel like I've achieved that. You know, the problem now is I've kind of have such a good name that I've got more industrial work coming up. You know, I've traveled the country working for Save a Lot Corporate, doing their security camera stuff and card access systems. You know, the security industry is just overworked, and there's not enough people to work.
Well, and it's constantly changing. I mean, it really seems like there's all these evolutions when it comes to new tech, and then also new ways that folks are getting around it. You know?
Right. I mean, you look up at, you know, the big thing's AI right now. You know? I mean, artificial intelligence, this and that. You know, that's great. You know, I think it's going to help eventually, you know, but it's not a huge deal. You know, with security cameras, you know, when we went through COVID, we had, you know, all the cameras that did all the temperature scanning and this and that. You know, Save a Lot Corporate, you know, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on all these, you know, COVID cameras and, you know, temperature takers, and then 3 years later they're not using them. You know,
incredible.
Wow. You know, with thermal cameras and stuff like that, you could put that at a machine shop and actually point it directly at a piece of equipment and know if that machine's overheating without having an employee
huge.
there. Yeah, I mean,
well, man, that's even better. See, now that's even cooler, because, you know, coming from, you know, and obviously, you know, with sewers, you don't look at it and make sure your sewer machine's, you know, not at 4,000 degrees. But if you're any type of in fabrication, imagine the peace of mind that's saving, you know. And if you got a big job, you're able to live monitor, or at least keep an eye on it if you see maybe something's not looking right on the back end of that production.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've got customers, Jensen Fab, Jonas Janik, he's a great guy.
They're doing a lot of good work.
Yeah, he does a lot of work. He's doing some cleanup out there at the old Cometco site. You know, he's reached out to me. I've done a camera system for him at his bell shop, you know, and the same scenario. I've had to go down there and get footage for him.
Yeah.
You know, it's, like I said, working for Alton Police Department, sometimes I feel like I need to charge Alton Police Department to get them the footage, because, you know, a customer calls me and they forget how to do it, or they know I could remote log into it and just email it for them. So I get a lot of phone calls after hours, and it, you know, luckily I have a great wife. My wife.
Good answer.
My wife really supports me. You know, without her, I truly couldn't do this. She does provide my health insurance. I mean, that's, you know, so she works every day just so I could have health insurance, and, you know.
Man, that's cool.
So I'm really fortunate that she supports me. You know, she gets on me sometimes. It's Saturday. Why are they texting you on a Saturday? Or why is it 8 o'clock and you're still talking to customers on the phone? And, you know, it's hard because customers having an issue, and, you know, you're their point of contact. They have to call you. So, you know, sometimes navigating those muddy waters can really hurt a relationship, but she's been really supportive.
Man, congratulations, because that is tough. And coming from, you know, the Rigdon side of things, I mean, you know, with the sewer, but I get it, man. That's
absolutely.
You got to have a great support system and a great dynamic there. And you got a moment to stick around?
Oh yeah.
I keep getting this text from a guy in Woods River. He said, "What the hell is that on your lip?" I told you, Jonas, I'd do it for you. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more.
Oh no, another bad headache?
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
This is what she said. Oh, there ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay, I got mouths to feed. There ain't nothing in this world for free. I know I can't slow down, I can't hold back, though you know I wish I could. Another
Stotts Advanced Wiring Solutions. So, work on the Boys and Girls Club will be starting here soon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I love working for Al, and I'm really excited about what we could do with those outdoor cameras. You know, to go from they're probably 720 cameras to go to a 5 megapixel camera, which is a little over 1080p.
Right.
He's going to get a much better image at night. And even if the PD says, "Hey, we had this happen, out here on Washington Avenue. Can you pull up the footage and possibly see a car?" It's going to help.
Right. Well, and see, that's the other thing, because those 720, I mean, you get into dark mode and then the sun goes out and you have no lights around you, and go ahead and have your little street light going, and you tell me how clear of a picture that is.
Like I said, when I was looking at the footage, I was like, "Ooh, I can't believe that's still even working."
Right.
So fortunately, when Dwight donated that system, we designed that system to where we wouldn't have to pull new cable potentially. So I could actually pull down the existing camera, put up a newer camera that's got a better image without running all new wires. So it's really saving a lot of money.
See, now I didn't realize you could do that. Is it just dependent on like your Cat 5 or 6 or? Yeah,
so all his cameras are out there, what we call BNC or coaxial cameras.
Okay.
So they have a separate wire for the video and then a separate wire for power.
Yeah.
So the system that we installed out there can do both coax and IP cameras. So that way we could utilize the existing cameras and then also add new IP cameras. So I would say 5 or 6 years ago, camera companies created what they call a Pentabird NVR or DVR. You could do both versions of the cameras because they know a lot of people don't want or can't afford new wires. So if they created an NVR or a DVR that would do both, you could slowly.
That's cool. I like that.
And affordably change wires as needed.
Well, I mean, because hell, I couldn't imagine a rewire job. I mean, that's got to get fun.
Yeah, I mean, I look at what I'm doing down in East St. Louis, which is a huge project. I probably should have never took on. But, I'm going to be excited when it's over. It went from 400 data lines and camera lines rewiring the whole city hall to roughly almost 500 now. So I did some numbers on it. I pulled roughly 17 miles of Cat 6 in the last 2 months in that one building.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my God, I'd be on Channel 2 going crazy. You wouldn't even. I'd be like Britney Spears at Great Clips. It'd be it, brother. So let me ask you though, because I think it's important, especially when the weather's starting to dry up here in a couple of weeks, and hopefully the monsoons stop. But It's going to be time for people to really start looking at getting some stuff done in their house. And what's that look like for you? I mean, I know you're busy as hell, but if someone calls you, what's that process start and look like?
So that process, usually if somebody calls me, being a one-man operation, it's hard. If you call me while I'm already on a job site, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to ask that customer, hey, do me a favor, text me your name, your address. Sometimes I could Google your address without coming out, unless you really want to meet me, which is fine as well.
He's a good guy.
I love meeting customers. I love talking to them. I love finding out exactly what they want. That way I could give them what they need, as opposed to, a lot of the bigger security companies, they'll send a sales guy out, and that sales guy will be like, oh yeah, you need a camera here, a camera there, blah, 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 and then they send out a separate guy to install that camera.
Right.
Well, that guy's not going to look at your house and say, oh, well, the sales guy said the camera should go here, but I think you would get a better image over there. Right. So part of what I do is meet with the customers, or even if I don't meet you, I did a job in Shiloh, Illinois yesterday where I never met the guy. I just told him, hey, it's easier for me to tell you time and material, and we could put a do not exceed dollar amount on it, and we'll get it done. And it worked out great for him,
Wow.
But as far as camera systems go, the main thing is what I like is being that guy that not only meets you and sells you a system, but I install the system. So to me, that's important, from the customer service aspect, that
right.
I'm the guy you see. I'm not the sales guy that's going to tell you need this, you need that. I don't want to get rich doing this. I like to go on vacation a couple times a year with my wife, and that's basically it. My kids are growing and hopefully moving out of the house at some point, but the wife and I, we go to Mexico once a year, and that's the one time a year I actually shut down my company for the whole time I'm on vacation, turn off my phone, turn off my laptop, and really decompress.
That's incredible. You need to, though, because if you don't, then you just run crazy, and that's not good.
Right, and this is that time of year where I'm running crazy. I'm doing a lot of things. I schedule a lot of things on the same day, so I stay busy.
Yeah.
And it's important.
Let me ask you, what does that system look like? What's the comm center, I guess, if you would, in a way, look like? So
the NVRs, they're pretty small, actually.
No kidding. Okay.
The way I buy my camera systems, they come in a kit. You can buy a 4-camera kit, which I really prefer not to install. I will, if your house is, say, 600 square feet, okay, 4-camera kit, you're never going to need more. Right. But generally I sell a 6-camera kit that you could grow into 8 cameras if you really needed to. Mm-hmm. So that 6-camera system does smart detection. It detects people or cars. So you're not getting a lot of the false alarms with leaves blowing and birds and dogs.
And the raccoon.
Right.
Maybe.
Very rarely will you get a false alarm. Wow. So that system, is usually my go-to system. That way you could grow into it. If I sell you a system you can't grow into, you may need a 5th camera, and now you got to buy a new recorder that costs $300 or $400, right. Whereas the camera only costs $150.
There you go. What are you doing here?
Right. Because now you got to buy a new recorder. You want to add the camera. So, now you're $650 in before you even pay me to do the labor side of things. So, to me, I prefer to sell you a 6-camera system and install it. Most houses I could install that system for around $2,200.
It's incredible. That's really incredible. For $2,200, and what I got out of this too is you aren't paying your Ring doorbell $55 or whatever it is a month for your subscription.
Well, right, and I had a real close friend. They had a Wi-Fi type camera system at their house in Godfrey that their car was stolen, and that camera system didn't pick it up because cameras, they're designed to, their motion detection goes off of pixelations.
Gotcha.
So that camera is looking for so many pixelations to move before it actually sends a motion trigger.
Makes sense.
So they're not necessarily designed to see, change of motion.
Right.
And if their car's parked outside of that motion trigger range,
it's over.
It's over. So literally their car was stolen. They had cameras, and that camera didn't see a thing.
Oh man, that'd be a nasty phone call with that Wi-Fi company the next day.
So my camera systems, I have record 24 hours a day, but they also flag motion. So if, you're going to have your 24-hour recording, but you don't have to go through that whole 24 hours. You could go to where the camera saw motion and actually see what had happened.
That makes sense. Man, this is really cool. And so is Advanced Wiring Solutions IL.com the website for people to find all this information
yes,
at?
Yes.
Is calling you the best or texting you? Just because I know that you're working a lot?
To me, it really doesn't matter. Call or text, sometimes if I'm busy, I'll just send an auto text. Hey, please text me.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't use landlines anymore, so I could send that text.
Yeah. With that being said, I want to go back to the Boys and Girls Club because I think this is really such a great thing. And it all started with this, if you guys are just kind of following along with this idiot that broke in and acted like a fool and broke glass and windows and TVs. And really within, 4 days, you guys came together and are getting this done.
Actually, you know.
It wasn't even 4!
Actually, it was 24 hours.
Oh, my God.
Like I said, I put my post out Thursday night, and by Friday night, they had raised $3,000 to get this done.
A big shout out to Scott, though, too, and then everyone else that you were talking about. Who donated again, just so we can give them some love?
Randy Scholler, Fast Eddie's Chicken.
Man, before you go, she is doing a lot for the community.
She is.
I really is. I've seen
the
so
ice cream
much.
pup cones and all that.
Cool
all
as hell.
that. Yes, she's doing great things up there. The St. Peter's family at True Value Hardware.
Always.
Mike Willer at AP Cigar.
Another good guy.
John Lindsay at Podiatry First. And Ed Yarborough, the retired Air Force veteran. So each one of those people donated $500.
Oh, man.
Walmart and Godfrey, I'm not disclosing what was donated, only because everybody thinks, oh, you're a big corporation. No, they actually have a budget that they could donate a year. And Courtney Howell there, she went to corporate when she saw my post and was like, hey, can we help them out? So actually anything that was donated from this, Al's keeping.
That's great.
You know, so I asked everybody that donated for this to take the check to Al. And me and Al I'll take Al the receipts for the cameras and stuff. He could see that, hey, I'm not making any money on this. I'm trying to help you. Right. So I obviously decided I'll donate the time and materials needed. Man, this is really cool. And really it just shows you, I mean, number one, that we have a pretty damn good business community, some good people in there. And really, thanks for being a part of that, too. That's really cool. Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, you know, April 10th, 2019 was when that camera system was installed. So you're talking 6 years later, we're finally doing some upgrades, and it's not costing the Boys and Girls Club a dime. No, and it really is just great to know why it is the way that is, and in a good way, you know, it happened because you got all these upgrades, but just sad that this whole thing, you know, really happened to begin with. Yeah, it's horrible when somebody wants to break into like a community center like that. You know, I mean, you look at Community Hope Center. I've donated cameras and stuff up there, and a couple years ago they called me because somebody literally broke into a place that donates everything. So you broke into their cooler and broke the cooler door, and they had to pay to get that fixed. And they're a nonprofit organization, just, you know, volunteer based. Right. Hope you feel good, you know. I mean, it's just like, why do you do it? It just always just pisses me off. I just never understand that. You know, if you want to be a criminal, be a good one. You know, and I hate to sound like that, but just quit picking on the people that really need the help. Right. Know? I mean, there's, you know, with all the scrap yards around, you see, go steal some copper from the scrap yard and then take it back to sell it to them. Right. You know, that's the old way of doing things. You know, Chris. But it was great talking to you. Great 25 minutes, man. We'll link everything in an article with what you're doing on RiverBender too, because I think people are really interested about home improvements and home security, and especially now subscriptions are out of the damn world for people's budgets, and it's time for them to hone it in. And it might be better to pay a little bit more and have a lot more peace of mind and a lot less stress in the future. Well, yeah, I mean, go on Amazon and search Wi-Fi jammer. Right. You could buy a $30 Wi-Fi jammer, and your wireless cameras aren't going to work. Right. Don't tell them that, because now they're all going to start freaking out. 9:49, a little bit of change. We'll link it all in a write-up on RiverBender.com. You stay here. I'll be in the studio when you come back after the break.